do his damage that way.
Yeah, and he just caught him just coming on the recovery of that teleport, saying that you got to get a little more woke than that to come at it.
All right, so what does Chris Delp have to do to adjust to this?
Yes, this should be, I believe this should be 2-0.
Yeah,
Koji?
2-0.
Yeah. Well, he's trying to win the fireball battle.
Yeah. And I think if you do a straight fireball battle, it's not working out.
Yeah,
yes. Has to do other things.
Because Guile owns the movement. Dalton's walk speed, it's, like, bad.
Yeah. You know, if Dalton gets a knockdown, then I think Dalton needs to be like 2 character lengths away, maybe even 3, just to establish that spacing.
And the other thing is that Chris Delp has not landed any throws since the first round of this match.
Right.
And that's another thing that influences the meta, because when you land those throws, you could get the slide under and get those kind of mix-ups. And basically, those kind of characters with that throw, Dalton, Blanca, and Balrog, it creates a vortex.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that spinning back fist again.
Oh,
dropped him right on his crown chakra. Oh, just whiffed it.
So what's Dalton going to do? I say teleport.
He's got the life lead.
No.
And the sonic boom with the business.
Yeah, he needs to find alternate ways to get in. Maybe a teleport or two will do it, and maybe just throw off his balance.
Yeah, it's got to happen quick.
Yeah.
This is match point.
All right, we'll get a little closer.
There he's toasted him a little bit. Just off the edge of that yoga flame. Guile didn't want to put his hand on the stove there, trying to get burned. Throwing out that double flash, but the knee means some business. All it takes is one yoga fire.
Ooh, nice fierce.
Yeah, using the back roundhouse to advance.
Yeah. You don't want to get in that fireball fight.
That's what great Guile players do, is they use those buttons to control their spacing. Yes. And right there.
And just like you said, right? That blocked fireball leads into that turnaround punch.
Yes.
It takes it around.
And Koji takes it. Great use of the walk speed, great use of buttons as well. Good knowledge and awareness of the limbs, the dive kicks, and just absolutely on point play.
Oh, yeah. He had good knowledge of the character and, of course, the matchup he was against. And he just executed and, won 3-0.
Yes.
All right, so who do we got here?
It looks like we have
a Japanese.
Damn is coming on, it looks like.
Yeah, it's a Japanese player, it seems.
Man, a lot of commotion, crowding around. A lot of OG players seeing this. I mean, Super Street Fighter 2 is hype.
Oh, yeah, always. It always is. A lot of people miss out because, all the esports atmosphere of all these other games, them being on the big stage, but Super Turbo still deserves his place in history. Still going strong after, 30 years? 30 plus years?
Well, I mean, we had a few years with those 2 buttons. Did you ever do that?
Yes, I did. I remember playing that in Houston and just hitting the buttons, and they didn't even work half the time.
Yeah. Well, I know that, I don't know if you've read, and you should, stream, you should also read this, what is it? The Verbal History of Street Fighter 2 is a Polygon article,
right?
Where they had interviews with the original developers. Akiman was interviewing some other people, and they were mentioning about how Street Fighter slowly evolved into being a game that was predominantly 2-player.
Right.
So originally it was that really Street Fighter 1 was about if you could frame perfect those moves out, and then that was what the reward was. And then when Street Fighter 2 first came out, they said that the Japanese were more interested in playing against the CPU and beating the CPU, whereas the American and the California and the West Coast, they started developing the one-on-one play, and then Champion Edition evolved from there.
Right.
Which is a very fascinating thing, because, I mean, even Final Fight, as you all know in the stream, was supposed to be the sequel to Street Fighter.
Was it?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
Yeah, it was the original name for Final Fight was Street Fighter 89.
Okay.
And
yeah, that's right.
Yeah, you see the poster of Cody with a bloodied guy on the floor. It was originally Street Fighter 89. And so you see a lot of those things, like games like Saturday Night Slam Masters, which Hagar comes from as well.
Yeah.
That's kind of just all existing within the Street Fighter universe, within that artwork.
Right.
So growing up, it was really fascinating that you would have players who excelled at beating the CPU, at finding anti-CPU strategies rather than anti-player strategies. They didn't like playing other people. Remember, we used to ask people permission to play them in the arcade machine.
Exactly, yeah.
Yes. And it only came on later around Super Turbo and around the Alpha days when people just started walking up putting the quarters on the machine. Yeah. I mean, they did that during Turbo and Champion Edition too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny because, back in the day, Street Fighter 2 was everywhere, right? It was at convenience stores.
I played it at 7-Elevens with my mom.
Yeah.